wonderful people. Welcome back to Voice Calling Out. I hope this video finds you in good spiritual and mental health and well on your way to becoming the real you. As you have seen in the last couple of weeks, I've been writing on my blog, voicecallingout.com, and also making videos here on the YouTube channel about becoming the real you. This is a series that I started in March, and I will write and do videos about this for 3 months. And while in the last couple of videos I've been hinting more about what is the real you, who is the real you, how can we think about who we are, and stuff like that, I've been also hinting a little bit that it is actually a journey, a road towards self-discovery, self-improvement, and eventually becoming the person you were really created to be. So becoming the real you is a journey. And like every journey, you have to start with baby steps. This video is about the baby steps on the road to becoming the real you, to self-improvement, to changes in your life that you want to be. And because sometimes the hardest steps to take are the first steps, I would like to talk about 2 very specific baby steps on the road to becoming the real you that I think are very important, that they really complement and help each other and help you get to your goals. So I had it on my mind to make this video because I think we are so different as humans, and we are on different places in our lives and in our life journeys, that I think it is really important to make to help facilitate this step to those of you who haven't really thought about these kind of things yet. Because I think, as in every other things, when we talk about who we really are and how we become the real ourselves, then we have phases in our lives. And one of that phases, or the first one, is the blissful ignorance of actually not knowing that maybe our choices and ourselves are not really the ones that we would have made if we would have invested the work of becoming our real selves. And I actually think that many of us are still in this stage. And then the other part, and what changes from this stage to actually being on the road to becoming more and more ourselves, is a little bit of raising awareness, talking about these kind of topics, bringing them up in conversations, and bringing them up in these kinds of videos. This is something that is really very much on my heart, because I can see so much in the world that we are always divided into 2 groups. And in any kind of questions, you will always have the 2 types of people who are in the world. And mostly these 2 types tend to not communicate with each other and tend to not learn from each other. And that is something that saddens me greatly. So without further ado, this is the kind of video that, if you have never heard about how to become the person that you were meant to be, this is how to start. And if you have heard about it and hopefully are already on your way, this is something just to refresh your journey and hopefully give you a few new points. So the 2 things that I think go together as baby steps on the road to becoming our real ourselves is, first of them is a desire, which sounds so trivial, right? Because for everything that we want to do, there is a desire in us to do it. There has to be something inside of ourselves that motivates us, that makes us want to move out from where we are, be that emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or even with our bodies or our health. There has to be something that wants us to go out from that, maybe from that comfort zone. So I wanted to talk about desire because I think the desire to become the real ourselves is sometimes something that is not really there. Because we don't know about it, because we're afraid, because we're very comfortable where we are, or who knows why. But I think in every life, there are points where you are given a choice. And in every life, you have situations that put you in different places where you can learn to take out of those situations a motivation to want to become a better person. To not make it that abstract, I am married for almost 3 years now, and it is a cliche, but it is how it is, that marriage sometimes takes hard work. And I remember that at the very beginning, when we would have conflicts with my husband or my newly baked husband, I would come to certain thought and behavior patterns that would really not help the situation and would bring a lot of frustration for both my husband and I. And when I was in those situations, I was actually not happy with how I was. And with time, I learned to use this not happiness to push me to ask myself, hey, what is behind this behavior? What is behind this reaction? Is this something that I can maybe see and try to improve on myself? Does it have very deep roots? And these kind of questions were things that really helped me and my husband to work over some aspects. And I really just wanted to give this example because it's such a trivial, and I think it happens so often, if not in a marriage, then in a friendship or with your parents or with your bosses or boss. If you that there are certain repetitive things that can come up, and it leaves you ask yourself, is this really the best that I can hope out of this situation? And my encouragement to you is to use those kind of situations as a fuel for your motivation. Look into the situation and ask yourself, what would you desire to have in that situation? How would you desire yourself and the whole situation to be different? Now, granted, now we're always only talking about ourselves and what we can change in ourselves, but sometimes that is really enough. And the second thing that I think goes really hand in hand with the motivation to want to change, to want to become a more truer person, is the ability of self-reflection. And I used the word ability really with a purpose, because I think this is something that is very, very, very important. And when I was earlier thinking about how would I describe the ability of self-reflection, I came up with this definition, so to say, that self-reflection is the ability to see ourselves the same way or almost the same way as others see us. Just imagine a mirror, and this is how you see yourself, but actually that is also how others see you. And I think having this ability of self-reflection and self-awareness is a very, very big resource to use and is essential for working on yourself. And the reason why I say that is because obviously all of us have a certain sense of inner perception. We perceive our reactions in their coherence as what happens inside of us. When I react in a frustrated way because I'm tired or because, I don't know, I feel like a jerk, then I just know this is how I am, this is what came from myself, and I can really see why. But at the same time, other people in my life might not see that and they might see that really I was just acting like a jerk. And I think having this ability of being able to see ourselves with a certain distance from ourselves and just reflect on our own selves, good and bad things, it is a very, very important resource, because as I said, this also goes together with the desire. If you're able to recognize the desire in you to become better, and if you're able to see how that desire fits into a bigger context, then you're already being self-reflective. I will link in the description a website where you can take self-awareness test. I found this website a while ago, and I found that it had a very, very good piece of research on this, and they also wrote a book for which I will also provide a link. I think it is a very, very easy way to figure out where we are and read more about self-awareness and why this is so important. If you're interested in this, just click on the links below. So this is what the baby steps are. Discover a motivation or desire in yourself, and learning to examine yourself, to reflect upon yourself, to develop a sight for your blind spots, and to always have these two strengthen each other, to see what your desires are and then also reflect upon those, and then go into your life and do whatever you do, and then take out certain situations and reflect on those, and then you ask yourself what your desires are. And I call these baby steps, and I was also reflecting on this earlier, that we forget sometimes how amazing baby steps are actually. Because if you think about it, for us, walking and running and dancing and doing any kind of exercise that requires us being able to do steps is just so normal. But we forget how amazing it is. And we all forgot, supposedly, our first steps as a baby. And I think as amazing it is for a baby to make a first step, just imagine having a whole new level of how you see the world. First, before the first step, the baby always sees the world from a very low point of view, because it can only crawl. And in the moment where it can pull itself up and look and also do a first step, that means that the little brain is integrating movement and sight and new perspectives, and suddenly the world is opening up, and the same world that surrounded this little baby before, it got to be seen in a new light. And I think this is exactly the perspective shift that happens when we become aware of the fact that we are not ourselves per default, that we sometimes just get stuck in a comfortable place and are either afraid or do not know that we can do steps to change that default. And exactly in that same way as when a baby makes their first steps, that is also how our first steps on the journey of becoming the truly ourselves can really be life-changing. I've experienced this, I continue experiencing this. This is why this blog actually happened and exists, and I'm so happy to share about these things. And if you're a person that through hearing about these things and thinking about these things also profits a lot, then you are in the right space here. A Voice Calling Out is committed to make a safe place for the stories that we tell, to have a place and to develop into very something much bigger than we would ever imagine. So I would like to just encourage you to take those few baby steps. If you don't know if you're very self-aware or not, take the tests. see what your results are. If you feel like it, then write in the comment section below, ask me questions, let's start a conversation. If you are the type of person, you can also start, for example, journaling, asking others. That's a very, very good way to learn more about ourselves. It's very important that we ask people that we trust, that are gentle and kind when they give feedback about us. But if you have this kind of person in your life, go ahead and choose a safe place, choose a safe moment for you to listen, and ask them to give you kind and gentle feedback on where they see your blind spots. Try some of these out and let me know how it goes. Believe me, these are sometimes the very, very first steps that you can take, but are so much more important. And again, if you're someone who already knows about these kind of things and intentionally is taking this journey, then what would your advice be for someone who never started this? Leave that also in the comment section below. I am very curious to see how you see these kind of things. So wonderful people, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here and engaging with me in the comment section. I really hope that this video also helped you do one more step on your journey to becoming the real you, on your journey to see the real big picture. And if you like my content, then please subscribe to this channel. I post videos every second Wednesday, and go over to my blog. I will also provide a description, a link in the description. I post stories there on the same kind of subjects every other Wednesday, and just let yourself be inspired. Bye, wonderful people.